Hey guys, what's going on? Working on the truck again, trying to get the turn signals to work, and I knew I was going to have to do some work to it because I swapped all over to LEDs, whereas before I had rear LED tail lights and I always had incandescent front turn signals. The old style flashers work that way because they're a thermal unit, just like most of your old school flashers, right? So they have to see an actual load that heats a coil or some shit like that to actually make the thing click, make the switch work. When you go over to LEDs, you don't have that load anymore, so they don't work. And what happens, and I'll show you this right here. I put this all together to show you. This is the old thermal type, right? Plugged in, bolted up, has a good ground. So when you come in here, you turn your turn signal on. You get, well, do I not have it on? You can just barely see a faint glow back there, right? Oh, now they're all glowing. Sweet. No, that's the running lights. Well, earlier, I guess something quit, because I had it where it would just come on solid, and that's what they do generally, or like you see now, they just don't work at all. So the thermal flashers will not work with LEDs. That leaves you with two choices. You can either get the newer updated electronic military flasher, which is much narrower than that, looks a lot different. I don't have one laying around. There's probably one on one of these trucks somewhere, but I don't feel like going and opening hoods and panels and just to show you what they look like. If you get on, like Big Mike has them, okay? The electronic flashers that are meant to work with LEDs. Or you can convert over to a civilian type 24 volt flasher relay. And to do that, you'll need this right here, the Novita EG22. This is a 24 volt 2-pin flasher relay. You'll also need a socket if you don't want to cut your original connector off your wiring harness. So I chopped this one out of this old flasher. And you'll need a socket for the flasher side, right? So this is what the Novita unit looks like. It is, see that right there? It's kind of a messed up ink stamp, but 24 volt. And it really doesn't matter, I don't think, which way you wire this. It might, but I don't think so. I and X. Well, one of those is power, or one's in and one's out, but you know. Your socket is a RS40, and that's just a relay socket. You can use a 2-pin, 3-pin, whatever. And all you do is you omit the ground, right? So if you look at your connector like this, with your key, your location key here, this bottom right pin is your ground. You will not be using that. You'll be connecting these other two to these two right here. And then you just screw it in. Of course, you'll want to use some good wire, solder it, heat shrink your connections, and tape it up, or mount this in a project box, or however you want to do it. Now, I did not come up with this. A guy on Steel Soldiers named Clint, he goes by Clinto on there, came up with this conversion years ago, and I've had these parts sitting around since and have never had to do it. This actually was a good flasher. This is a flasher I've had on it for years, and it never went out. I bought these parts, and that ensured that this didn't fail. So, but now that I've gone over to all LED, I need it. So, just wanted to show you that it's not super difficult. You're just connecting these two pins here, this one and that one, to these two, and you can use whatever wires on here you want. So, as far as mounting it, putting it in a box, whatever you want to do with it, that's entirely up to you. You know, I've seen people do it different ways. I'm not, by far, not the first person to do this. I've even seen guys use 12 volt electronic flashers, and they work just fine. So once again, this is not a thermal. This is At least I don't think it is. I think this is the electronic type. Of course, it has to have the coil so it can flash, but I might be screwed here. I hope not. I'm gonna find out. Thanks for watching, dudes. Check out our sponsors, like and subscribe, all that cool stuff. Later.